Chapter 5, Ratios and Percents. We will use ratios somewhat in Med Math, so it's kind of important that we understand the conceptual aspect of what a ratio does. So here we're just simply going to write as a ratio 90 to 60. And now we excuse me, now we reduce, and then 3 goes into 9 3 times, and 3 goes into 6 twice. When we're writing it as a ratio, we leave it as an improper fraction. So here we'd write 30 over 70, and then we'd reduce our zeros, and our answer would be 3 over 7. (2.8) over 2.1. Now we always want to get decimals out of fractions. So if we multiply both numerator and denominator by 10, it moves the decimal over one place, and we have 28 over 21. 7 goes into both of them. 7 goes into 28 4 times, and 7 goes into 21 3 times. And again, I am going to leave it as an improper fraction. So we're writing 8 to 4 and 4/5. I, of course, am not going to leave it like that. I'm going to turn this into an improper fraction. So I'm going to have 8 over 24/5. And remember, this actually means 8 over 1 divided by 24/5. So I'm going to have 8 times 24/5, and this is really 8 over 1. Nope. I have to invert it. So 8 over 1 times, I invert this, so this becomes 5 over 24, and then I can reduce. 8 goes in 8 once, 8 goes into 24 3 times. I multiply across. 1 times 5 is 5, and 1 times 3 is 3. Here I have 2 mLs to 100 mLs, which reduces to 1 over 50. And we will then learn to make that a percent. Here we have to make sure we have the same minutes or the same units for both. I'm going to change them both to minutes. So I'm going to make 5 hours. 5 times 60, 30, gives me 300 minutes. So I have 25 to 300, and when I reduce that, it reduces to 1 over 12. Basically, I'm saying how many quarters are in $3. 12. So now we're looking at a ratio of song A, 36, to song B, 32, and then I reduce that. Four goes into both of them. 4 goes into 36 9 times, 4 goes into 32 8 times. Ratio of song A to song E. Song A again is 36. Song E is 10. When I reduce that, I get 18 over 5. Six persons, for 30 dresses reduces to 1 person for 5 dresses. Here I have to find out which is the lower, so I'm going to divide $1.55 by 3 to find out how much it is per tablet. My decimals here. 3 goes into 15 5 times. I'm going to do it over here. Three goes into that 5 times 15. Bring down the 5. 3 goes into 5 once. So it's roughly 52 cents per tablet. And now I am going to divide $1.97 by 4. So 4 goes into 19 4 times, which is 16. 3 is less than 4, so this number up here is correct. And I really don't have to go any higher because this is a 4 and this is 51 cents. So I know 49 cents, even that's the most this could be, will be lower than my 51 cents. So, which is the lower? This one's going to be lower, my brand B. Here, they just want me to write out the equivalency statement. So I'm writing out 60 is to 210 as 8 is to 28. And notice here I actually put an equal sign for the first time. This is an equivalency that we're showing, whereas the other ones we're showing the progression of the math. So I only like to show an equal sign when we're showing equality. So here are the following fractions equivalent. The way we can show equivalence is we can reduce both of them to the same thing, they are equivalent, or we can do their cross products. If their cross products are equal, then they are equivalent. So here I would take 4 times 15. That would be 60. Does 60 equal 6 times 8? No, it does not equal. Here I'm going to reduce this. 6 goes into 18 3 times. 6 goes into 35 times. 3/5 equals 3/5. So I'm going to work with just my left side, and I'm going to reduce this to see if it becomes this. So I'm going to make 3 1/8 into an improper fraction, which becomes 25/8, and I make 6 1/2 into an improper fraction, which becomes 13/2. Remember, this is the same thing as this format is the same thing as this format. When I'm dividing by fractions, I'm doing the same thing as multiplying by the reciprocal. So I copy the first fraction, I multiply, and I take the inverse of the second fraction. So now I can reduce. 25 times 1 is 25. 4 times 13 is 52. So this left side here simplifies to 25 over 52, which is the same as the right side, so yes, they are equivalent. Here we have an equal sign, so we are solving for the variable. So I'm going to do my cross products. So I get 2x. My cross product is multiplying these two together and setting it equal to multiplying those two together. And then I solve for x. And I divide both sides by 2. Therefore, x equals 25. Here I get 24x equals 192. Divide both sides by 24. This, I can actually reduce this first, so my numbers will be smaller. So I have x over 15 equals 1 over 5. I can only reduce one side of the equal sign. I can't cancel left to right across the equal sign. So now when I do my cross products, I get 5x equals 15. Divide both sides by 5. X equals 3. I'm going to change this into a fraction. 4 tenths equals 7 over x. Do my cross products. I get 70 equals 4x. Divide both sides by 4 because you're dividing by the coefficient of x. Therefore, x equals 17 and a half, or 17 and 5 tenths. So here my cross product, 7x equals, and I'm going to take 32 over 1 times, I'm going to make this an improper fraction, 4, 5, 6, 7. So now just working with this right here, 1 goes in, 4 goes into 4 once, 4 goes into 8, or 32 8 times. So I have 7x equals 8 times 7 is 56. 1 times 1 is 1. I don't need to put it over the 1. So now I have 7x equals 56. I am dividing both sides by 7. Therefore, x equals 8. This problem gets very big very quickly. It looks like it would be a very simple problem, but these numbers get out of control big. I would not ask you for something like that. The answer becomes 3145 over 624. If you're inclined to do it. So here we have, I'm going to set this up as a ratio, 6 patients in 15 minutes. Patients for X minutes. And now I can do my cross products, so I get 6x equals 27 times 15, which is 405, and then divide both sides by 6. 6 divided by 6 is 1. So I would just go 6. 6 goes into 36 6 times. 6 goes into 40 6 times of 36. Subtract, I get a 45. 6 goes into 45 7 times, which is 42. Subtract, I get a 3. So 67 3/6, which is 1/2. So my answer is 67.5 or 5/10. And that's in minutes. So that would be 1 hour, 7.5 minutes. Here I'm going to set up my ratio, 4 ml to 453 ml equals x over 695. I'm going to do my cross product, and I get 453x equals 4 times 695, which is 2,780. I divide both sides by 453, the coefficient of x. X is now by itself, and when I divide that out, here I'm going to set up a ratio. An 8-ounce bag of rice will serve 7 people. How many ounces are needed to serve 18 people? My cross products, 7x, 8 times 18 gives me 144. Divide both sides by 7. Seven goes into 14 twice, so I put my number right above the 14. 7 does not go into 4, so I put my 0 up there. And my decimal here, I can actually bring this down, and 7 goes into 40. 5 times. So roughly I need 21 ounces of rice. And that's all there is to chapter 5.